Well, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, guys. Today is a pretty bad day. Today is a monumentally, almost doomsday-esque type of day. And I'm not even, trying to be dramatic or trying to put 20 on 10 or, try to do none of that. I'm sure the next question in your mind right now is why? Why might this day be so bad? Well, my inquisitive little friend, today is the day the news broke that Akira Toriyama, the creator of the entire Dragon Ball saga, right? The Dragon Ball Z, that whole world, has passed away due to a subdural hematoma. Take a look.
The renowned creator of the popular Japanese animated series Dragon Ball Z has passed away. Sources indicate Akira Toriyama died of acute subdural hematoma, which is a buildup of blood on the surface of the brain. Members of his team say he had multiple ongoing projects at the time of his death on March 1st. Toriyama was 68 years old.
Now, obviously, as you just heard in the news clip there, his death was confirmed in a statement by his manga and design production company Bird Studio and Capsule Corporation Tokyo. Now, he was 68 years old, which is pretty young, actually. I mean, it wasn't like he was 80 or 90, 100 years old. He was only in his 60s, like going into his 70s, and this happened. That's insane. But people make no mistake about it. Today is an enormous loss, okay? Not only in the anime world, but just the world in general, even in pop culture. I mean, there hasn't been a more influential show or concept on television and anime than Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. There is absolutely no debating this. None. Ever since news broke about his passing, I mean, there's been an outpour of love and just pure appreciation for Akira and the legacy that he left behind. So much so that like my entire timeline on Twitter, Instagram, hell, Facebook is just flooded with Dragon Ball stuff. I mean, it's crazy. People have made their own animations of Dragon Ball, kind of saying goodbye to Akira and just flying off into the sunset. It's actually pretty sad. I kind of had to get off of Twitter because of it. But Dragon Ball has been such an influence in not only my life, but the lives of so many of my friends and family. Growing up, there wasn't a single person that I saw on a daily basis in school that didn't watch at least one or two episodes of Dragon Ball Z a week. I mean, or more, right? I've seen grown men and women actually try and do the Kamehameha move, right? I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't see or hear at least one Dragon Ball reference, name, move, something. Akira's Dragon Ball influence was everywhere. I mean, growing up, you couldn't get past it. Like it was everywhere, literally. And for my generation, right, which I would like to think was the golden age of anime and anime appreciation, it was literally one of the top shows in entertainment from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, Bleach, Death Note. I mean, you name it. But none of them could hold a candle to Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Absolutely none of them. That was literally all anyone talked about. I legit used to see people try to fight like Goku and Vegeta, at recess in the playground. Like I saw that with my own two eyes right here. I actually used to think that if I got mad enough or hype enough that I could turn into a Super Saiyan or some shit. Like I legitimately did. But Akira's influence in the manga world is undeniable, right? When you want to talk about the GOAT of manga, you would be absolutely stupid to leave out Akira Toriyama. For example, you ever heard of One Piece? How about Naruto? Yeah, if it wasn't for Akira Toriyama and Dragon Ball, those shows wouldn't exist. Just flat out. The manga for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z was adapted to well over 21 different countries and was broadcast worldwide. One of the most important things to realize about Dragon Ball Z is that its overall framework, right? helped inspire some of the biggest modern shonen anime today, right? Like, and in fact, all of Weekly Shonen Jump's big three, the series One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, which I mentioned earlier, were all born from Akira Toriyama and his work. Which all of the creators of those shows have been very open and pretty candid about his influence on them and their works. Dragon Ball's impact is seen in movies, television shows, video games, sports. Filmmakers, writers, artists have drawn inspiration from Dragon Ball Z. The epic battles that took place on that show, the storytelling techniques. I mean, you name it. For example, Michael B. Jordan, right? I remember him saying this in an interview somewhere, but he basically said that when he was filming Creed 3, he talked about how Dragon Ball Z helped him and inspired him in directing fight scenes in that movie. In fact, Megan Thee Stallion, she had a sit down with Crunchyroll where she talked about having a lot of Dragon Ball Z references in her music. Take a look.
So I want to ask, how has anime influenced? Did it influence your music?
Sometimes I throw in, a few anime references. I have a freestyle called Running Up Freestyle, and I have some Dragon Ball Z references in there. I have some new music coming out with more anime references, so it's definitely influenced some of my outfits or some of my hairstyles, because sometimes I like to mimic the characters that I love.
Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball universe brought new meaning and new life to not only anime as a whole, but more specifically to shonen anime, right? Before Dragon Ball, characters, they learned techniques, right? And managed to win through their own, ingenuity, I guess, right? And the concept of a transformation in shonen anime was completely new. With Dragon Ball Z, for example, when Goku turned Super Saiyan, that changed not just Dragon Ball, but everything in the shonen genre entirely, right? Like, that's not to say that other shonen anime didn't exist before Dragon Ball Z, but the impact of Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball Z saga is just unmatched in the world of shonen anime. It just is. One of the biggest themes that is constantly shown throughout literally every series of Dragon Ball is the fact that an enemy can quickly become a friend. It's one of the reasons that characters on the show are so loved, right? I mean, just for me, right? One of my favorite Dragon Ball characters besides Goku was Piccolo, right? Now, early in the Dragon Ball anime, he was a bad guy, right? He was pretty bad. He was an evil dude. Then eventually ended up becoming a hero. To me, when he and Gohan became close, right? Piccolo was like the closest thing Gohan had to a father figure after Goku died. Their bond became really tight and they became almost a family. Another example to me is Vegeta, right? Everybody knows about Vegeta. Everybody talks about Vegeta, but he started out as a villain, right? But as the story progressed, he became one of the heroes of the Z Warriors, right? I mean, he was the prince of the warrior race for the Saiyans, right? And when Vegeta self-destructed in order to save Bulma, Trunks, Goku, and pretty much the entire world from the Majin Buu, despite knowing that his body, he wouldn't be able to keep his body after death, unlike Goku. To me, that marked the final transformation of Vegeta from being a bad guy to being a hero and being pretty favorable in the eyes of people who watch the show, right? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z shaped most of my childhood, honestly. And, those of you who are astute observers, you would have noticed that I have a good amount of Dragon Ball figures in my office here. I actually have to get more because I'm looking a little light right here, but I actually need to get a Piccolo. I need to get some more. I need to get some more figures. But but Dragon Ball was an immense force for all of us. All of us who dibble and dabble in the shonen anime world. And Akira Toriyama will definitely be missed. This is a big loss. The only other loss that even comes close in the cartoon world, comic book world, anime world, whatever, is Stan Lee, right? When he passed away, that's really the only other loss that I really feel comes close to this level of magnitude of influence, right? Akira, you inspired an entire generation of anime lovers, and your work will never be forgotten. You know, that's truly from the heart. I wanted to kind of come on here and definitely give my my 2 cents on the whole thing, and you know, just say thanks. You know, thank you for being a huge influence in not only my life but the lives of so many other, you know, anime watchers and just pure cartoon watchers, you know, in the world, from young all the way up to old. So, you know, thank you. That's it for the video, guys. Peace.